Hi everyone, it's Chrissie and welcome back to the channel and welcome to the gameplay trailer reaction for the new Sims 4 Life and Death expansion pack. And yeah, so the gameplay trailer just released and it shows us obviously a little bit more about the gameplay aspects. It explains a little bit more about them and you know what we can expect from this expansion pack. Now before we head into the actual video, I will say that I have watched it. I watched it just so that I could have a general idea of what they were talking about before I actually recorded this, so that I wouldn't, you know, wonder about something and then they explain it like 30 seconds later, for example. So yeah, I have watched it, and from what I've seen, it does look really cool. I know I mentioned in the announcement trailer reaction that I did that I was wondering about, you know, whether this pack would be worthy of being an expansion or whether it would make sense to have it as an expansion pack, just from, you know, the announcement trailer and from what we saw about that. And you know, taking everything into account that they're talking about in the gameplay trailer, it does make sense why this is an expansion, and I'll talk a little bit more about that as we go through the trailer and afterwards. And yeah, so I wanted to say that because I know I was wondering about that in the announcement trailer. Now I will leave the audio for this on because I don't think it's copyrighted. There's no music or anything like that really. It's mostly just a kind of like a voiceover, almost like talking about the gameplay and explaining what we're seeing. Usually these things aren't copyrighted, so I'm really hoping that it isn't, but I will have it down a little bit lower so that it doesn't come across like too loudly, if that makes sense. So I will have the captions on as well. But with all of that said, let's go on ahead and actually watch this trailer. It's like 5 minutes long, which for gameplay trailers is actually really great. Like, it's nice that they're making it that long. Usually they're not that long. In the past, I think the last couple of gameplay trailers that we've gotten have all been, I think, under 4 minutes, I think, if I'm remembering right. So having a 5-minute trailer is really cool. And also the narration is done by like the Grim Reaper. It sounds like the Grim Reaper, so that's really cool. But with all of that said, let's go on ahead and check out the actual trailer. Okay, so here we are with the trailer and let's go on ahead and watch it. Like I said, I have already watched it.
Hundreds of thousands of Sims die on any given day. A common misconception is that I'm the one to blame.
Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, the narration for this is fantastic. It's hilarious.
I'm just a reaper. Mine is a humble profession that got its start with, well, life.
Netherworld Department of Death. I love the fact that being Grim Reaper is now an actual profession.
They advance to reapers, and we have a very high percentage rate of hitting our weekly quotas.
This is so cool. Like, chased by death is a new trait, obviously.
But hey, you have to admit these Sims sees everything.
I love this part of the world with that creepy vibe.
The number of young adults that don't consider what they ultimately want to accomplish with their life is staggering. Taking ownership of
He sounds like some kind of like grumpy old man, which is fantastic.
your wants, traits, aspirations, these contribute to a
I'm guessing that's a new like aspiration.
For me, they're not enough. A bucket list, however, is a
I love that you can actually choose your bucket lists, because I was wondering about this in the announcement, about whether that would be totally random or not. But I like that you can like write it yourself or do it randomly or based on traits. Whoops, my headphone just fell out.
Sorry. In fact, I'd seriously consider getting a will drawn up if I were you. 7 out of 10 souls regret not having one after they've died.
I love that we see more about wills as well. So much of the questions that I had were answered in this.
Did you know the earliest
I love this, the fact that you can actually choose your grave markers and like customize them after the fact. That is so cool. We can now actually make graveyards that look like graveyards.
Sorry, I've been told I lack a certain connection with mortality. I have an affinity for those whose defining trait is the macabre. But
that is so
also
me,
skeptics
like...
among you. I get it. I'll do better. TLDR, point is, you died. Now what? At the time of death, most souls think it's game over. No. There's a whole state of life.
This is so cool.
Beyond the veil.
Like,
Hey,
being able to actually play as a ghost, like... And I mean, you could play as ghost before, but there was no reason to. But this is so cool. The fact that they've expanded ghosts so much. It's like ghost support group.
If you finished your bucket list, you may find you have new desires as a ghost.
And the fact that, yeah, like they've expanded ghosts so much, and we ghosts finally have a skill tree, which is so cool.
Powers for good to make life a little easier for others, or ride the line of neutrality and keep the status quo.
Like, it's they've added so much to this, like things that a lot of people have missed.
No judgments here, literally. I have no morality. Ah, wonderful. Dimitri completed his unfinished business.
Now that trait sounds so cool.
Soul that finishes what they've started. Now Dimitri's ghostly powers won't get burnt out, and should he choose to be reborn, he'll basically, I don't know, be better.
And I like that you can still get reborn after you've played as a ghost for a while, or you can do it like right as you pass away.
Simply put, it is
and this is the map. Like, this is so cool.
Into your next life. Things like childhood skills and reward traits. You can start fresh at any age.
And I like that you can like customize them afterwards. That's so cool.
Your own great-grandchild.
Great-grandchild.
Or join your rich neighbor's household. I'm not able to do it myself, so I can't endorse it. But a whole new aspect of life is available to those who return to the living. So don't fear death.
You could try for babies with a Grim Reaper, that's something. But yeah, so this is so cool. Like, there's so much going on, so I am going to go through it again, just really quickly. But the fact that, you know, obviously, there's obviously different, like, death types, all of that stuff. But the fact that being a Grim Reaper is now an actual profession is really cool. And from the blog post, I don't know if this blog post came out, like, with the announcement trailer or whether it came out with this one. I'm not exactly sure. I think it came out with the announcement trailer, but I never read it myself. I just read it like right now after I watched this trailer. But being like a funeral like undertaker is a career, and then being a Grim Reaper is a profession. So that's really, really awesome. The fact that being this profession seems like it's interactive in a way, so like your Sims will actually have to go out and reap souls, and just all of the thought and the effort that they put into this, like having Sims be able to, you know, they have to train to be a Grim Reaper. And this is why I said like it looks like it's an interactive profession, because this Sim is obviously the controllable Sim. So that is so cool. Now obviously Chased by Death, Skeptic and Macabre are a couple of new traits. Obviously, that would make for one hell of a gameplay if your Sims are like Chased by Death and a Skeptic. I don't know if you can be both, but that would be hilarious. But yeah, so this is so cool. And then also things like this world. And I mean, just look at this. I mean, this world obviously is giving a lot of Forgotten Hollow vibes. Yes, but also something that I thought about when I saw the actual map overview, which I think is around here somewhere. But when I saw the map for this, it really made me think, and now I can't seem to find it. But basically when I saw the map, it really made me think about the Sims 1 like making magic pack, where the like world for that was kind of like 3 totally separate like entities, almost like it was like, well, not 3 separate entities, it was like 2 separate parts, but it looked so cool. I can't seem to find the map. There it is. But yeah, so when you see like this, I mean, obviously this looks like this is a neighborhood, that's a neighborhood, and then that's a neighborhood up there. This is giving me such Making Magic vibes. I'll see if I can find a picture of the original Making Magic world from The Sims 1 and put it up on the screen. But the fact that we have like the creepy magic part and then the regular like sunnier part, and it's very, very clearly like separate spaces, like this giving like this is such a netherworld, like underworld type thing, is so cool. Like obviously up there it looks like that's like the Grim Reaper's base, basically like their headquarters, and then these are a couple of normal lots. Then we have this neighborhood that looks a little bit more rural with a couple of bigger lots, and then we have this one down here which is obviously a little bit more like the town center area with what looks like a graveyard over here in the corner. Now that is so cool because they don't usually, I think, show us off the map in like any of the trailers. We don't usually see that beforehand, so the fact that they're showing this in the trailer is really awesome. And obviously they're not giving us lot sizes or anything like that, but you can kind of guess what the lot sizes will be. I'm guessing the graveyard would be like a 64 by 64. These bigger lots are probably 64 by 64 or like 50 by 50. That one is probably 20 by 15, 30 by 20 if I had to guess. The Grim Reaper area is probably 20 by 20 if I'm guessing. Either that or it's like 30 by 30 or something. But yeah, so like you can kind of guess the sizes of the lots, and also with this you also see what lots you're getting. So like obviously there's a bunch of residential lots, there's a couple of empty ones, we have a graveyard, we have a bar and a nightclub, because every new world apparently needs to come with a bar and a nightclub. It's just what it is. But the fact that the nightclub is in the creepy part of the world is really funny. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to stuff like that. And just the trailer itself shows off so many different things. Like obviously we get a lot of like looks at build, buy and cast and all of that stuff, but we also get a look at the like the bucket list system, and the fact that you can both write your bucket list yourself, like you can customize it with, you know, choosing what you want your Sims to focus on, but it can also like populate over time based on your traits. That was all in the blog post, by the way. And like just leaving it to be like random is really funny. I like that you can do that. I like that you have that ability and that it's not just completely random and based on like the game system, which is something that I was also wondering about in the announcement trailer. And then the same thing for like the soul's journey, the fact that it is totally separate from being an aspiration or being like anything like that. It's a totally separate system. And then also like rebirth as well, like your Sims will actually have to like, there's what I'm guessing is like there's almost like a, I don't know how to put it, like it's not necessarily a requirement, I'm guessing, for rebirth. Like this, for example, like this Sim dies, and then, you know, you can either choose to come back as a playable ghost or a free roaming ghost. Free roaming, I'm guessing, is like the normal ghost in the game at the moment, where if you have their urn on your lot, they'll pop up every now and then, but they're not in your household. Whereas playable, obviously, is you actually play as the ghost. And then rebirth, in this sense, is grayed out. And I'm guessing, like, obviously there's a lot of stuff being said there. You can zoom in if you want to read that. But I'm guessing rebirth, it says if you choose to rebirth as a younger Sim, you will have certain developmental skills. So I'm guessing if you want to choose like rebirth, you have to like meet some requirements in your life. I'm guessing like you have to probably like complete your soul's journey, or, you know, something like that, I'm guessing. Also, if you choose to rebirth as an infant and you're living alone, then it's not going to work. You'll probably have to be reborn into another family or something like that, I'm guessing. But that's really, really cool. And like, it's really fun that there's some requirement for stuff like that. But then also, if you do come back as a ghost, you can get reborn later on in life when your Sims make, like, when this Sim, for example, he completed his soul's journey, and then he chooses to be reborn in this cute little, not cute, but like really awesome looking like pond or lake or whatever. And then he comes back with some extra skills and traits and all of that stuff from his previous life, which is really cool. I really like the fact that you can do that. Same with the wills as well. We saw earlier on that your Sims will actually have to like choose to have their wills like written. It's not something that I don't think will just happen randomly. They will actually have to go and, you know, it says this in the blog post as well, but you can do this at the Family Day Festival, or you can do it at Town Hall, or you can do it yourself at your computer. And the fact that, you know, you can ask about things like this, you can ask about wills, and you can set up a will. And then there's obviously a lot of like, you know, extra features, like you can choose simoleons, you can choose what happens to your Sims after they die, their heirlooms, their personal notes, things like that. I mean, you can like be funny with your like the message that you leave your family, like I hated you all. I mean, yeah, fair enough. Like I can think of a lot of Sims that this would be so appropriate for. But things like that, that it makes this pack feel fun, even though it does deal with a lot of like macabre things and a lot of more serious topics. And for a lot of people, it would probably be very difficult, some of these things to deal with in real life. I like the fact that the game, while still keeping it fairly serious, like while still handling some serious topics, it makes it also that you can see a more humorous side to it, which I really like. I like the fact that The Sims has always been really great at doing stuff like that, because in real life, topics like this are very triggering for me, especially after the past year. So this, it's making it so that even I am really excited about it and really excited about exploring it and playing around with it. Same like with these like graveyards. I mean, I've created a couple of graveyards myself before in the game, even though that was just for like my own gameplay and stuff like that. And even in previous games as well, it's been really useful. But now we can actually make graveyards that serve a purpose and that look like graveyards, and not like you just have a bunch of the same urns everywhere or tombstones everywhere. And you can customize them. And I mean, it's so cool. Like, it's such a nice feature, something that I never thought they would actually give us for some reason. So yeah, I'm really excited about all of this. Like, I know I probably rambled a lot, but there's a lot in this that I can't explain any better than they've explained it. And it did answer a lot of the questions that I had going into this, where I know in the announcement trailer, I talked a lot about, you know, wondering about certain features and wondering about how certain things would work, and speculated a lot about stuff like that. And this trailer and the blog post as well answered a lot of those questions. So yeah, definitely go ahead, check out the trailer again if you haven't watched it yourself. I will leave the original trailer obviously in the description, and I'll also leave a link to the blog post as well in case you haven't read that yet and you want to read it yourself. But yeah, with all of that said, you guys, I really hope you enjoyed this. Like I said, sorry for rambling. Sorry also for being so MIA on the channel recently. Things haven't been great for me IRL, so I haven't had the energy to focus on making videos, but I will be focusing on that for the rest of the month. So hopefully you'll see some fun, you know, Halloween things and spooky month things and all of that stuff going around a little bit later in the month. So yeah, definitely keep your eyes out for that. I also wanted to remind you guys that the Sims actually have a big sale going on right now over on the EA app, where there's like a bunch of like scary spooky month sales for like a couple of the more spooky packs and things like that that are on sale. And I think there's a couple of bundles as well as, you know, stuff like that. So if you want to go ahead and check that out, go ahead, check it out on the EA app. I believe it's also on the EA, like the Sims website as well. And as a little reminder, I do have a creator code that you can use when you check out. And if you use my code, then I will receive a small percentage of the sale. So that's a really great way to support me and the channel, especially currently when I'm going through a lot of stuff IRL, and every little bit helps. Now, this doesn't give you like a special discount on anything, but it does help support me. Wow, my voice just broke. But it does help support me and the channel, so it's a really nice thing to do if you wanted to. But I will have obviously my little like EA code thing down at the bottom of the screen as usual. So definitely go ahead and check that out if it's something that you might be interested in doing. If you're still missing some of the Sims packs, then go ahead and check that out. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, you know, give the video a like, hit the subscribe button, all of that fun YouTube things. And I will talk to you all in my very next video. Bye everyone.